Have you ever thought about having like a human collective consciousness, something that everyone can subconsciously interact with without knowing it? It's like this phenomenon that happens when there's an invention in one country and suddenly every other country around well, not every other country. I mean, obviously Africa doesn't invent everything, but a lot of other countries around the world suddenly invent the same thing. And you look at this and you think, well, how is that possible? How do these people arrive at the same thing at the same time? Is it this some kind of cognitive signal that's sent around? Is it a collective awareness of what everyone else is seeing without realizing it? I mean, if you want to, you could go into depression. Do people feel depressed because they feel intrinsically connected to something that's happening right now in a different country or maybe in a different location in the past? It's kind of some weird shit that goes on when you kind of think about this. Don't take drugs, kids. But the reason I really wanted to talk about this, especially collective consciousness, is when it comes to the dissemination of information, or the layer above that, the spread of the information. How does it spread? Where does it spread? Who controls that spread? And throughout human history, we've seen that the control of information has been paramount to those in charge, and they've never once relinquished control willingly. Often there's been a bloody fight that has preceded or resulted in the dissemination of free information. The printing press is a good example. In England, the printing press was illegal. Only the churches, I believe, were allowed to own one, and the government, obviously. And then it was found that people had this, they were raided, eventually killed. There was lots of things that happened with the printing press, that's just one example. Then you had radio with the offshore pirate radio stations that were trying to give people information that the government was trying to shut down. You had the same thing with TV, especially within America with NTR and all this stuff. So every single stage of information becoming more readily available, you've got the crackdown of the authoritarians that don't want you to see that. And in the internet, in the case of the internet, we've got the same thing. We had the free internet, the wild, wild west of the internet in the early days, in which you could literally find anything. And trust me, guys, I mean fucking anything. Anything. Early days of the internet were wild. Drugs, CP, bestiality, you name it, you could find it with just a simple search. As long as you knew the URL, which I did not, but friends did, and trust me, I've been shown many things on a mobile phone without my consent. The worst one being, while I was working in a call center, someone just randomly came up to me and showed me someone getting beheaded with a chainsaw, and that fucked my day up. I did think about that for quite a lot. It was the most brutal thing I've seen, up until the next week when he showed me something worse, which I'm not going to talk about. So, it involved dogs and flames and Chinese people laughing. The internet's a dangerous place if it's unfiltered, but I still think that danger is your responsibility to navigate as an individual. I don't think it's the state's responsibility to control what you see and what you want to see. I think it should be entirely up to you if you want to go watch jihadi videos of people getting their heads chopped off, if that's what you want to do. I do think it's the responsibility of the state to kind of have a flag on that specific content. Like if people go watch that, you should be flagged, like your IP or something. Nothing sinister, just like, all right, that IP has watched this. And this is without anyone knowing what the IP is, I forgot what it's called, the Internet Protocol. So you're basically your postcode when you're on the internet. Not necessarily knowing where you live, they just know what the fucking IP is. So if it keeps pinging again and again, they're just like, oh, wait, there's a pattern here. Why is this guy like constantly watching this video of someone getting their head chopped off? And then you're just like, okay, we can go and investigate that. You still don't know who he is, though. No information has been passed. So I think that's fine. I kind of lost I've kind of lost you, haven't I? The reason I'm talking about this is I think the flow of information is fundamental to a free society. I think that locking up information is fundamental to a non-free society. And when I see the government talking about taking away X in the same way that they've took away everything else, and like I said, I don't know if I've mentioned it in this same video, because I think I've done this 2 or 3 times now. I've mentioned, maybe not, but I'm definitely going to mention it again. YouTube is a great example. They covered up the grooming gangs. They covered up the COVID ivermectin cures. They covered up the Hunter Biden laptop scandals. They're just a vassal of the state right now, the state of America or England. I don't know who controls America, because it could be America controls America, or it could be Israel controls America, or it could be England controls America, or it could be England controls America, but Israel controls England, or it could be England controls America and also Israel, but Israel is being controlled by America. I'm bored now. Don't care. Don't care. Point is, information is vital, and the only people that I see right now trying to shut down X are people on the left, obviously. They hate free information, but also the people on the centre-right, guys, the centre-right. The patriots. You know, the ones that they call rhinos in America, like the Republicans in name only? Fake patriots. We don't have a name in England for those people, apart from Quislings. Or the fake right. Plastic patriots, I guess, if we're going to borrow another term from you guys, but we don't have a name for this yet. I'm sure we will, and I'm sure it'll be very, very English. A very English name to describe someone that's a traitor, who's pretending not to be, who's very, very much still to this day pretending to be on your side. And you know exactly you know exactly the people I'm talking about. Fuck me, they're all foreigners as well. That's mental. Like most of them, 99, 98% of the people that claim to be on the right, that aren't, they're foreigners. Based in Bulky, a great example. You've got the other ones that claim to be on the right, and they're Zionists. You know, Tommy Robinson, you've got Richard Dick Inside Man, you've got the Timu Ross Kemp. I actually don't know his name, so I'm sorry, guys. I just know him as Timu Kemp. You've got other people, right? I'm bored of this conversation. I just want you guys to understand that I'm not really going to interact with these people anymore. I've decided what they are. I know what they are. They know what they are. Everyone knows who they are. So I'm not going to play the dance. I'm not going to do the jig. I'm just talking about literally what you see is fundamental to how you change your worldview, how you form your worldview, how you interact with people, how you interact with ideas, right? And ideas fundamentally are the things that make us alive. They're the things that shape everything around us, how reality itself. It's ideas, right? And how do you spread ideas? It's through talking to people and the sharing of videos, information, tweets, pictures. And the only way you can do that right now in the entire Western world that's free, without censorship, and that is actually popular and widely spread is X. And that's the reason that the government hates it. And I know there's a bunch of people in the comments that are going to say, well, that's the conspiracy itself, that you've fallen for the trap. I'm not going to get too dark, and I'm not going to get too wrapped up in a conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy. I actually don't think people are that smart. I really don't. I don't think people are actually that smart. I do not think that there's some fucking giant, big-brained bastard out there that just controls everything. I think people literally are just winging it. And there's some bad people and there's some good people. There's some bad groups. More bad groups than good, because the good groups have been suppressed and mollycoddled and lullabied into fucking sleep for so long that we haven't actually had a chance to form a resistance yet. But when we do, you're fucked.
Dinobane, time to light the soul. Dinobane, and we could stay, both of us tonight.